Hi folks, I'm back in the garden tonight. I've noticed that my potato plants are getting eaten by potato bugs. Not too bad yet, but before it gets out of hand, you can see, yeah, I do have some weeds in there too I got to deal with. But what I need to do is dust these plants to keep the bugs down on them. Also, some of the vine crops are starting with that too. I'll show you that in a little bit in the other garden. But what I typically use, if it's not too bad, and the weather's going to be nice and it's not going to rain for a little bit, I'll just use 7 dusting powder. And it's not difficult to use. It's effective, kills a number of insects, and basically all I'm going to do is just dust it, like basically just sprinkle it on, and that's enough to kind of keep the bugs away so that I don't have too much trouble with them wanting to destroy the plants. If you can see, some of these have a few holes in them. Let me show you. There was one or a couple plants I saw here that had bugs on them. If you've never seen these little potato bugs, they can be, over here, right here's one that's been well eaten, and you can see there are some bugs on there. I hope I can zoom in enough to show you. Let's see here. In here. I don't know if I'm too close. But on these leaves you can see them. They're a little shiny dark colored bugs. And can't get that close with the camera, but yeah, they're right there, and that's what I need to treat. So we will sprinkle them good, and then this will solve a basic problem with the potato bugs. If it gets worse, if there's a bigger infestation, what I will do is I'll get the 7 liquid and spray it on with my pressure my hand sprayer. That's a bit stronger of a pesticide than the dusting powder is. So, but if I don't have to do that, I won't. So for now, I'm just going to do these, and then I'll come back to you when I get to the vine crops. I'll show you it's a different kind of bug that's eating through the leaves in them, and I'll show you which plants are affected and how to treat them. So, alright, now I'm in the upper garden, and this is a pumpkin vine, and you can see the little holes in the leaves. That's all caused by bugs, and I'm trying to get that healthy so that it'll grow. Once they get large and there's all kinds of leaves and vines, the bug problem isn't as bad. But when they're starting out like this, you don't want the bugs to do too much damage, because it'll impede the growth and maybe could potentially even kill the plant. Now, one word of caution with any kind of pesticide like this: you do not, oh, here's another pumpkin. They haven't hit this one yet, but I will put some 7 on it. You do not want to put any kind of pesticide on your plants when they are blossoming, because what you do not want is, you do not want to kill your pollinators, like your bees. So I don't dust these plants if they've got blossoms, because I don't want to kill the bees. I just want to kill the other bugs. And of course, there's no way to just kill the one kind. Here's a neck pumpkin I'm going to do too. So yeah, you just have to be a little careful, because you don't want to kill your bees or kill your other beneficial insects, the ones that help with your pollination, because then you won't get any crop. And then of course you don't want to kill your bees, because they're the ones that help produce your crop. So just be a little careful with that if you see blossoms on your plants, don't try to dust them. Another one that the bugs seem to love is eggplant, and you can see all the little holes in the leaves there, so I want to dust them too. Hopefully that'll be enough just to deter the, and I'm not an expert enough to know which bugs are doing the actual eating. I do know what Japanese beetles look like. Now this plant, as you can see, has some little pre-blossoms on it. They haven't opened yet, so I will dust this because it might be a few days, and by then I won't have to worry about the bees or other insects. But if those little purple flowers on the eggplant had been open, I wouldn't have done that. But I don't like the bugs doing a number on the leaves because it destroys the plant health. The plant needs the leaves to, oh, look at this one, how much that's been chewed on. Some of these leaves you can almost see right through them. And that's normal. I usually get this in the summertime. You have to deal with the bugs. The rest of my stuff seems to be okay. There usually isn't too much as far as insect damage at this point on tomato plants. The problem with the tomato plants is after they start producing tomatoes, you have stink bugs and slugs actually eating the tomatoes, and that's a problem. But the plants themselves, as long as you can avoid the blight, and I'll talk about that on another video about the early and late blight with tomatoes, because I've dealt with that in recent years. But those I don't worry about, and for whatever reason, the bugs and the other animals do not like to eat the pepper plants. So I haven't had to worry too much about dusting them. Since I have the electric fence up, I don't see any more damage on the broccoli. You can see the broccoli plants are growing pretty nicely now. And the leaves are good, so I'm not going to worry about dusting them at this point. If I start to see some damage, I will. But at this point, they seem healthy. My other vine crops up here, I haven't seen anything yet. As far as, well, there is a little damage on these that just came up. These melons, I can't remember if this is a watermelon or the cantaloupe, but I'll just sprinkle a little bit on there. I don't want to, when they're very young like that, I don't like to dust too much because I don't want to choke out the effectiveness of the leaves until they get bigger. But my these are the squash, the butternut squash. They look good. Don't see, oh, this one has, no, that's just dirt on there. That one's okay. And so far the cucumbers vines look fairly good. This one's got a few little munches out of it, so we'll put some dusting powder on that. Yeah, there's a little bit on these little melons that just emerged. These were a replant because the first ones didn't want to come up because of how wet it was. So I might be too late to get anything from these this year. I don't know, but hey, I had room in the garden, so I stuck the seeds in, and I'm hoping for the best. Yeah, see, those are okay. There's nothing munching on them. These might be the watermelons over here. And the rest of these cucumbers, this one's got a little bit of bug holes in the leaves, so I'll sprinkle that one, but not too much damage here in this. It was mostly the potato plants from the potato bugs and the eggplant plants. Everything else looks fairly good, so I'm glad. If I don't have to use this stuff, I don't, just because that way I don't have to buy it. It's not harmful to people by the time you go and harvest your fruit and your vegetables off of this, so I'm not worried about that. But as organic as I can be, I will be. So I think that's going to do it for this garden, and that application will last now for a while. We're supposed to get rain in a couple days, so it'll wash it off, but maybe it'll have a good enough effect that it'll either deter or kill what bugs are here, and then it'll allow the plants to grow bigger, put more leaves out, more foliage out, and then they'll be stronger. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Just a basic way to deal with pests in the garden, and I'm sure there'll be others that I'll be talking to you about as we go through the summer months. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.